88.6, Plenty Valley FM, and on the line from Crimestoppers is Alex. What's happening this week?
I have our three wanteds for this week. Our first wanted is Badder Mufton. Mufton is wanted by police for failing to answer bail, failing an oral fluid test while driving, and unlicensed driving. The 38-year-old is described as 175 centimetres tall with a medium build. He has brown eyes, black hair and an olive complexion, and 8 warrants have been issued for his arrest. He's known to frequent the Shepparton area. The second wanted this week is Emma Harrison. Harrison is wanted by police for theft, recklessly causing injury and possessing methamphetamine. The 27-year-old is described as 175 centimetres tall with a solid build. She has brown eyes, black hair and an olive complexion. 22 warrants have been issued for her arrest, and Harrison is known to frequent the Morwell area. The third wanted is Lucy McCarthy. McCarthy is wanted for failing to answer bail, contravening a community corrections order and burglary. The 26-year-old is described as 170 centimetres tall with a medium build. She has hazel eyes, blonde hair and a fair complexion, and 17 warrants have been issued for her arrest. McCarthy is known to frequent the Morwell area. Images of these wanted people and many more can be found on the Crimestoppers Victoria website, which is crimestoppersvic.com.au. You can submit an anonymous report online or by calling 1800 333 000.
Okay, and our scam of the week?
Our scam of the week is a charity scam. So charity scammers prey on the generosity of others by using fake emails, fake websites, and using no caller ID to reach out and request donations. Scammers may set up fake websites which look similar to those operated by real charities, playing on your emotions. For example, they might claim that they're helping children who are ill. And these charities, they occur all year round, but some are created directly in response to disasters such as floods, earthquakes and bushfires, so be extra careful for those. And they'll just pressure you for immediate donations, and they'll have a lack of transparency about how the funds are used. So to avoid this scam, just be extra careful when sharing financial details online, and never share credit card and bank account information through social media, emails or unsecure websites. And if a charity contacts you by phone, let them know that you'll call them back using their official number, just so you can confirm that it is them. And if you have been scammed, you can report that to Crimestoppers as well.
Okay, and what else are we covering this week?
We're going to talk about how psychology makes us vulnerable to scams. So the key to protecting yourself from scams is understanding the psychological levers that scammers pull. Scams succeed because scammers tap into the way our minds naturally work and process information, and they know how to manipulate the way we handle trust, risk, and emotion. We have a thing called a cognitive bias, which is where your brain makes a quick decision or belief that isn't always correct, but it's relying on habits, feelings, or assumptions instead of the facts. For example, you might think that your favourite sports team is always the best, even when they lose a lot. So that's a bias. These biases, they help us make quick judgments, but they also create blind spots, and then scammers use these blind spots to their advantage. So because we're humans, we trust by default, so we're predisposed to trust information that looks official and comes from a perceived authority, such as a bank or government agency. We also react more strongly to the threat of losing something than the chance of gaining something. So that's why when scammers send messages like your account will be suspended, that taps directly into our fear and we want to act quickly. As well as the limited time offers and countdowns push people to act quickly without really thinking about what they're doing. We also have an optimism bias where we believe that negative events are less likely to happen to us. So this makes us ignore those warning signs and trust these fake offers. And as humans, we tend to assume honesty, especially when statements are repeated. So scammers will use persistent and apparent credibility to make their lives believable. They also understand that emotions can overpower rational thinking. So strong feelings can hijack decision-making before the logical brain catches up. So scammers will do this with romance scams by creating emotional bonds and exploiting loneliness or isolation. With investment scams, they'll stir excitement and the hope of a fast return. With technical support scams, they'll induce fear and confusion to provoke compliance. And they'll just use the pressure and the urgency tactics so we act before we have time to think. Humans are influenced by social patterns as well. So if we see someone participating in a scheme and it looks like it's going well for them, we're more likely to follow. And then once we agree to a small step in a scheme, which is from a scammer that we don't know, we're more likely to continue with larger ones. So scammers will escalate the demands gradually, making each step feel like a continuation of the last. Just to be safe, pause before responding, verify who you're talking to through trusted channels, and just recognize that anyone can be deceived, anyone can be scammed, it's not your fault. Scammers succeed because they take advantage of our human nature and they really know how to tap into our minds.
There's some very smart scammers out there. As always, thanks Alex, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you, I'll speak to you next week.